Adrienne, hi.
Hi.
Thanks again for joining me. As I mentioned to you in the lead up, I'm Jonathan Herps. I'm the founder and CEO of Scale Up Growth Partners. Welcome to Stories of Scaling Up. The idea here is I'm chatting with people like yourself, successful CEOs, managing directors, owners, business leaders of companies that have scaled. And it centers around your entrepreneurial journey so far and your aspirations for your company going forward. And I have to say, it's really interesting. I've never spoken to someone with, I think it's 175,000 followers on LinkedIn.
It's a little bit more. It's about 195.
Congratulations, Miss Fabian. And it just shows, where you are from a respect perspective of your thoughts. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
I'm looking forward to chatting too.
Super. So listen, can we start with what do you do? What does Brainmates do? And how long have you been doing it for?
I am co-founder and CEO of a company called Brainmates. We're a product management professional services firm. We help organizations lift their product management capability, transform their product practice essentially, so that they can deliver products and services that their customers love. And I have been doing it. I've been working at Brainmates, or started Brainmates about 18 years ago, just shy of 18 years. But I've been in product management since the year 2000, so close to 22 years, a very long time. And in that time, gosh, nobody understood the word product management. They're still trying to grapple with it and grapple with the idea of having a product management function. But we've seen tremendous change in the industry and community over the last 20 years.
So who would you describe as your core customer?
Our core buyer would be a product leader who is looking to make some changes in their product team. They want to train, upskill their product managers. They want to change the way that they essentially practice product management, and they want to deliver better, more targeted products and services to their customers so that they can maintain scale growth or kick off the next phase of growth. We are industry agnostic. A lot of our clients are enterprise-based customers. So you're looking at companies like Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Lendlease, FPOS, Cuscal. Those are some of the snippets of our clients. We are getting interest from startups, scale-ups who understand or seen the results of how good product management impacts their ability to deliver services and products to their customers. And so some of those folks are reaching out to us to help them coach their product managers in their business.
Okay. And so it's a coaching. You don't provide it done for you.
No, it's more than that. It's a combination. So we do work for companies. So we actually go into organizations and take on their role of product manager until such time that they can hire full-time product managers. In combination, we teach. So we teach them how to do it as we show them the way when we're doing it ourselves. If we're not doing it, we're coaching people how to do it. We put people in classrooms, whether it's digital or face-to-face, to teach them a repeatable product management framework. And we actually also transform organizations, because very often organizations, bubble up, grow, scale, and without a lot of focus on product. And we try and we go into organizations to bring that focus back on product. And that involves a lot of change management, transformation work.
Yeah, I call it the valleys of death. You can literally predict when a company is going to hit growth, plateau, valleys of death. And it's that product innovation, getting the SOPs, checklists, everything in place is one of the critical growth stages in the company that I coach. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people do product work. A lot of them don't realize they're doing product work because a lot of companies do offer a product and service to the market. And it's really about being more mindful of the way they do it, formalizing the process so we understand clear lines of roles and responsibilities and a better way of doing it. More often than not, people simply hope for the best. They put out a product in market, keep their fingers crossed, and hope that someone buys it. And if it doesn't, well, then they might not have been successful, but that's a really expensive lesson to learn. Hopefully, when we put in better product management practices, we do a lot of that due diligence, that customer discovery work up front, the opportunity assessment before delving into kind of solution mode.
Yeah, it's about 25 years ago, I worked as an executive for both CommBank and then Lendlease. Right? So I wish we'd had you around at the time. The joys. So, look, we've all been through the pandemic. What are some of the changes you made during the pandemic that you've kept in the business going forward?
Well, a few things, and it will always be with us now. I think we've kind of learned to enjoy it, really. The first thing that we did was to turn our face-to-face training business and our face-to-face consulting business into a remote real-time offering. So now we, instead of coming into our office, into our classrooms, we do it via Zoom and we use Miro. It's super, you wouldn't believe it, but it's super interactive for folks to participate in real time. They go into rooms and they design products. They, design value propositions. So we turned all our face-to-face services into a remote real time so that we could continue to deliver, continue to be a business. And in those days, in 2020, it was pretty scary and dire. Our folks as well moved from the office. So we used to be, an in-person business, but we now work remotely. We still have an office and people get together and collaborate, but a lot of our thinking work is done at home. We also had a very strong focus on, like any small business, really about cash flow. And that's, we kept track of that really closely during the pandemic. And that has stayed with us as well. And actually, it's good moving into the future when, the macroeconomic conditions are quite unknown, not quite sure how inflation will impact our business. And, we're seeing a lot of redundancies at the moment in the tech sector. But having that focus on good cash management will be something that we'll always, have our finger on the pulse on.
You can see with my cash manager, I've got no hair.
Super, but not, it's those little things. Very in 2020, we had this whole strategy around extend the runway. I mean, we were lucky. We were a solid business, so we had cash to keep us going. But for us, in the first kind of 12 months, it was all about extending our runway. We had a hashtag around that in the strategy, and it's all around, okay, so how do we extend our runway to such a time when we can start to replan again in this new world?
It's interesting your comment about Zoom and Miro. For those people who don't know what Miro is, it's sort of like an interactive electronic whiteboard, I suppose.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
Multiple people can work on it at any one time. Yeah, I'm actually with a client team tomorrow and Thursday. My client has been a client since March 2000. I have never met them. I'll meet them for the first time tomorrow.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they've grown the company from, my client's grown the company from 8 to close to 50 staff into the US and the UK in that period of time.
Yeah.
And we've never met. It's going to be quite interesting to actually sit down.
I love that. And, I'm such a face-to-face person. I thrive on people's energy. And so that kind of change in the way that we do business has certainly probably affected me most. But yeah. I'm learning to deal with it.
That's good. But, we can get together again now. So
yes.
So what's the future look like? And what do you see as the main challenges going forward?
Oh, the future is extremely bright. During the pandemic, we grew our business by 150%. By turning it, like the first year was absolutely scary. Once we extended our runway and started to replan, we have seen tremendous growth, and very excited about our future. It's about making sure, for us, we're purpose-driven, vision-driven. We want to make product management the focus of every organization. To us, it is the engine of growth. And we want every organization to do well in it. And so we're scaling our business to be able to support that narrative.
And look, for anybody watching, brainmates.com.au, looking at the product design template, etc. in there, it's really worth going to have a look. So your .com.au, do you have an international focus coming forward?
Yes, so we have several arms to our overall business. Brainmates is just the professional services arm. We have an events business called Leading the Product as well. We run conferences. In 2019, we ran a conference for 1,000 people. But in 2020, 21, 22, we've been we repurposed, redesigned, I guess, our face-to-face conference into a digital conference, super interactive, full of storytelling and voting and great speakers. And we've managed to actually maintain our attendees to about, 700 to 800 attendees online. Next year, we're going hybrid. So we're going to do a bit of both, make sure that the people online and face-to-face interact in some way. We also have an association of product professionals. So in the midst of all of this, we created an association for product managers called productprofessionals.com.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So we've been busy. We've been busy for the last 2 years.
Look, it's amazing how, like, I'm like you, I've got busier as the pandemic has gone on. And now coming into this big talk about recessions and everything else, I'm finding I'm busier every day. People are reaching out because, like you, it's a whole new world, really.
Absolutely. We've got to learn how to navigate the world differently. I remember sitting down, it was really sad. 16th of March, a lot of our clients called to cancel their face-to-face training. We had a pipeline into May. It was massive for us. It was going to be the year. And I remember being so sad when people cancel. But thankfully, our fabulous clients said, "Okay, fine, we'll do our training classes online." And so we managed to keep all of them. But I thought to myself, look, if this is the end, what is it that I'd love to do more of that I haven't had a chance to do? And creating that community, that association of product people was one thing that was still on my list. And so I thought, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. And we have.
And, that's what this interview series is all about as well. It's actually the same thought process.
Yeah, right.
Biggest learnings since you've been a business owner?
Biggest learnings, failure's here to teach you a lesson. Sometimes when there's a dip, failure's here to teach you a lesson. Sometimes when there's a dip, and I've had many a dips, you come out emerging during the process. It's painful, but when you come out of it, you're a better, stronger business as a result.
Thank you. When you think of the word successful, who's the first person that comes to mind?
I thought about that, and I thought, Mike Cannon-Brookes comes to mind. And Mike Cannon-Brookes is the CEO, founder of Atlassian. And the reason why he's successful is because he has the opportunity to use his success to change the world, which is what I'd love to do. The fact that he's, looking at climate change and refocusing his energies and attention after making his millions and billions on something that's really important in society, I think that's what success is all about.
Have you watched his TEDx talk about imposter syndrome?
I certainly have. I was actually in the audience.
There we go.
It's very hard to believe, though. It's really hard to believe. You're like, I can't see that happening, but I'm sure it has. I think we all suffer from it in some way.
I have no doubts that every CEO suffers from imposter syndrome.
Yes.
But look, one of my staff is now the head of corporate affairs for Sun Cable, which is he and Twiggy Forrest. Following challenging Elon, part of the imposter syndrome, Elon Musk, when they had the electricity outages in South Australia a number of years ago because all the power lines fell down, Elon Musk made a comment, I can fix that in 90 days. Our Prime Minister said, rubbish. Mike Cannon-Brookes bet Elon Musk that he couldn't do it. And that was late at night. And the next morning he woke up and he was a renewable energy expert in Australia. And had to spend a month learning this stuff. Yeah. And that's led to extraordinary investments. And, Georgie, my staff member, as I said, Sun Cable, which is backed by Mark Cannon-Brookes and Twiggy Forrest, to provide 20% of the electricity to Singapore via renewable energy from the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see more of, right? Us doing better for the world.
And, he lives not far from where I do. I live in Barrel, which is an hour and a half south of Sydney. And he lives not far.
Barrel.
Yeah, no, and he lives not far from here. And one of my mates, one of his children is in the same class as my mate's son. And Pat organised this dinner down here and for the school class. And the first people to turn up were Mike and his wife. But Pat, Pat didn't even know Mike Cannon-Brookes. He said, just a normal family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's good. No, good choice. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Do you read top 3 business books, podcasts that you recommend?
Yes, I read a lot in product management. And so there are so many wonderful books to read. And people who want to learn more about product management, I would recommend Inspired by Marty Cagan. I would also pick up Stephen Haynes' book, The Product Management Handbook. It's this massive tome, but it really describes product management and how to end-to-end. And I also really like Teresa's Discovery Habits book. So there's quite a few, there's tons of books that we can recommend.
Yeah, I'm blurred out, but you can see the bookcases behind me.
Yes.
Any last piece of advice or parting words for an aspiring founder or CEO? Or a current CEO, for that matter?
A current CEO. Look, I think being a CEO is a learning experience. Every day I learn how to be a better CEO. Don't be too hard on yourself and make sure. And I'm really I'm really open and transparent, and I share a lot of this and my thinking with my team. And so, last Friday we had an offsite, and it was very clear. I said, look, I'm learning to be a CEO. Every day I'm going to be something a little bit different because the company grows every day. And so it's the learning curve is, ongoing. And I think for would-be current CEOs, you don't have to have all the answers. We never do. And if you're okay by admitting that, I think that, that makes your job and life a lot easier.
Totally agree. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure.
I really enjoyed it. And as usual, I've learned a number of things. So I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Lovely to meet you too, Jonathan.
Cheers.